Hello, can everyone hear me? I'm going to try my headphones today because I noticed on my last live it was kind of staticky. So just let me know if you guys can hear me okay, or if I need to talk louder. Okay, sorry, I had to grab my mouse pad or you guys were just scraping on the desk the whole time. Yeah, Angelina, early, right? I just had some free time, so I figured I'd hop on real quick. Everyone doing okay? No sound? Is there sound now? All right, can you guys hear me now? It's going to be an echo, I think, if I unplug my headphones. Or not an echo, but static. Okay, good. Oh, hi, Zev Girl. Glad you can make it. Workforce. Irene, thank you for being here. Savenska. Hopefully I said that right. I can see your comments, Angelina. Is there static without the headphones? Okay, one more time. Testing. Can you hear me now? You guys are having trouble seeing your comments? That's weird. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the comments thing, but so Angelina and Zav, you can't see your own comments because it looks like everybody else can see them. Huh, okay, that's strange. Well, I want to go ahead and get started because I know people kind of get annoyed when um, people do the intro so long. So I watched I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched some of, um, I'm going to say her name wrong, Tanya Hagen's, and True Tam's live they just had today. And they were talking about Rourke and the phone calls that were just released. And let me know if you guys can still hear me because I plugged the headphones back in because the static annoyed me last time when I listened to my last live and I kept hearing and then silence. And so I don't want it to be annoying for you guys. Okay, good. So when I was watching their live, they were talking about how they just the fact that they were released and I know that True Tam said that she believed that they could get in trouble for releasing them, then they weren't public documents. And I know that Dr. B commented on it, and I agree with Dr. B that they are public records. However, if you go to the core request website, it does state that you can't use them for monetary gain if you get the public records. And I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know. But if, you know, anyone does charge for them, it says you need this amount of money. You have to pay this amount for me to, for you to view these files, then I consider that charging in monetary gain. So I don't know the repercussions for that as far as that goes, but I do know that it does state on the website that you're not allowed to use them for any monetary gain. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Um, and I've also mentioned in a couple lives that someone previously had requested those same files, the phone calls or documents. And let me get to those here. 1 second. All right, it's going crazy here. Hold on, guys. All right, there we go. Yeah, and the crazy thing is that we actually have to pay for these public records when the public already pays the county clerk or whoever is the one that's supposed to gather the documents for you, the public records. So we already pay their paycheck. So the fact that they're charging for it, it's like they're charging double because that's their job. Their job is to gather the public records, redact them, do whatever they have to do. I don't understand why it's such a big deal, why it takes so long, but I'm not a county clerk. But I do know that we pay their paycheck, so the fact that they charge double is ridiculous. Okay, so if you see here, Muckrock is a nonprofit organization that um, where you can go and you can look up other public records that people have previously requested, or you can go on here and actually fill out where it says file a request up here, and you can actually send a request through Muckrock, I believe. So a while ago, I brought this up in one of my lives, one of my first lives, but I wanted to show this again. So, okay, so this person requested the visitor audio and jail file or the jail phone calls placed by Christopher Watts. And let's see, the first email was sent on 12/4/2018. So it says, to whom it may concern. Pursuant to the Colorado Public Records Law, I hereby request the following records. Request audio files of any jail or prison visits and phone calls placed by inmate Christopher Watts, who pleaded guilty to 5 counts of first-degree murder on November 19th, 2018 in Will County, Colorado. If more audio than what was initially released exists, we kindly ask for those to be included. We prefer the request to be fulfilled electronically by email attachment if available, or CD-ROM if not. Okay, American Media is the one requesting it. The request documents will be made available to the general public, and this request is not being made for commercial purposes. And in the event that there are fees, I would be grateful if you would inform me of the total charges in advance of fulfilling my request. I would prefer the request be filled electronically by email attachment if available, or CD-ROM if not. Thank you in advance. Sincerely. So yeah, so down here it says, I look forward to receiving your response to this request within 3 business days. So if you guys ever send any of these requests, that's the maximum amount of time that they have to at least respond to your request or your email with the request. Okay, so that was sent on 12/4. So we know that the phone calls were made that were just released, or, around Thanksgiving time, because they talk about turkey cooking and football. So we already know that the calls were made when this person filed this request. Okay, so here is another email from Muckrock. Or I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, so 12/4 and 12/7. So this person that sent the request followed up and sent another email 3 days later because he hadn't heard from them. which they're supposed to do within 3 business days. So we go. So the next one was from the Department of Corrections on 12/24, so Christmas Eve. So however many days from 12/7, do the math, to 12/24, they finally just responded to him. Thank you for contacting the Colorado Department of Corrections. I'm currently out of the office. I will return to the office on Thursday, December 27, 2018. Thank you. So the fact that it took them that long to respond from 12/4 to 12/24, 20 days just to respond to say that she's out of the office, or they, whoever it was, is ridiculous. Listen to me, I'm getting to that. Patience, please. Okay, so they said they're going to be out of the office, and then the requester emails back the same day. Thank you for contacting. Oh no, I'm sorry. So this is another one from them. Okay, so now, so they're saying that the 3-day response time starts when the Department of Corrections will make it. Oh, 3-day response. Okay, yeah. So she's saying that they will respond within 3 days, even though it's been 20. They go over how much it's going to cost if they have the records available. So that was on Christmas Eve. Now we have 1/8/2019. The Colorado Department of Corrections will make every effort to provide an acknowledgement of receipt with a proposed delivery date within 3 working days. The 3-day response time starts when a request is received by the records custodian. A request received by the records custodian after 3 p.m. or any day that the Department of Corrections is officially closed will be considered received as the next business day. Okay, so this is how much it costs, yada yada. Okay, so now we're into January with this request. So January 20th. They respond to the Colorado Department of Corrections and say, thank you for your help with this request. I really appreciate it. They respond the same day with the same email. I'm not sure what that's about. So now we're into February 14th, and he's now following up again with them because they haven't responded to his request. Okay, so we have 3-1. This one's not opening for some reason. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now he's following up again because he still hasn't heard from them. Sorry. Oops. Go back. Okay, so now they respond finally 17 days later, March 18th, 2019. Mr. Watts did not make any calls. There are no records to produce. So what's insane is this took from December 4th to March 18th to respond to this person that's requesting these documents, just to say that Watts did not make any calls and there are no records to produce. This is how difficult they make it for people to get these public records, and it's ridiculous. There's no reason why it should take 3 3 months to just respond and finally say that he didn't make any calls? So I don't know what the whole purpose of the responding. I guess they only have to respond within 3 business days. I guess it doesn't say that they have to give you an answer within 3 business days. So it's crazy. It's just ridiculous. So that, as far as that goes, I just wanted to point out to you guys that they make it so difficult that almost to the point where so that people don't request them anymore, or they don't want to request them. Because how difficult was it for her to say, nope, we don't have any calls? Why does it take 3 months? Okay, so that was my first point. I just wanted to show you guys that. My next point is if this person requested the phone calls when Chris was in Weld County, why were they told that he didn't make any calls? It says right here, Mr. Watts did not make any calls. There are no records to produce. They requested the phone calls that he either made or received when he was in Weld County. And this was after Thanksgiving, when the phone calls that were just released, that's when they were too. They were in November. So even 3 months later, when they finally did respond to it, they should have been all caught up in all of the discovery or whatever they had to do or get them filed. So they can't say that, oh, we're not organized or we're not whatever. It's 3 months and they finally just let them know that Watson didn't make any phone calls. So what I'm saying is either the Department of Corrections lied to this person that requested these phone calls, because obviously now we know that they made phone calls, right? Because they were just released. So there's something wrong with that. So that was my second point, because I wanted to point that out. I don't understand why they would lie to this person, and to me that's disturbing. Just reading the chat here. And hello to everybody that came in that I didn't see when I was talking. Thanks for being here. And this always happens in cases like this. Right when you think that the case is going to die down, or it's finally starting to, you'll get some fresh new information that comes out. Why it's like that, I don't know, but I just know that that's what happens. Listen to me, no, I haven't made any requests. Yeah, Kellyanne, that's what I was saying, because I understand that if it was so soon right after you made the phone calls, they might not have had everything situated, but we're going on, into March. So there's no reason why they wouldn't have everything, organized or shouldn't have everything situated and organized by then. Because in the discovery, I can't remember if in the discovery if it says he made phone calls or not. I thought there was a page that said that he didn't make any calls or receive any except by lawyers. So the point is why was this person requesting, or why did this person request it? And they said that they were willing to pay money, just like the other person that got the phone calls did. And it took 3 months to say, no, Watson didn't make any phone calls. And then now we're here in 2020 and these phone calls are being released. So something's going on, obviously. So yeah, so I would be curious to know why this person was denied and why they said that he didn't make any calls. So if anybody can find that out, great. I'll try to research it myself and see what I can come up with. But I'm just trying to figure out why they were denied and then now all of a sudden they're being released. So because it would be different if they responded to this person and said, um, you know, it's a cluster, bad word here, and try not to curse on my lives. Plus, it's not ladylike. Um, if they responded to him and said, we're just trying to get everything situated, we just released the discovery, and we just can't do it right now. There's just too much going on, or we can't release them because they're whatever to the public's interest. Um, but they didn't say that. They said Watts didn't make any calls. Well, here we are, like I said, 2020, and now these calls are being released. So that's what I want to try and figure out. Some might not think it's important, but to me, that's a pretty big discrepancy. Okay, so I'm just going to move on past that. I just didn't have anything prepared. I just wanted to jump on when I had some time and talk about stuff that was just released. All right, guys, sorry about that. This is why I can't do lives in the middle of the day. Okay, let me just check out the chat here before I move on to the next thing. Listen to me. Did I make my point finally? And thank you everybody for the compliments, nice comments. I appreciate it. Listen to me, 89.6 there, huh? That must be nice. It's 102 here. And it's supposed to get hotter tomorrow. Yeah, chickens are great. They're actually really smart animals, and their their characteristics are just, they're all different. Oh, thank you, Tret Lodge. I appreciate it. All right, so okay, so now that that's over with, the muck rock thing. Now I wanted to just update you guys a little bit on Nate's camera thing or situation. So let me pull that up real quick. Maybe. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I know a lot of people are saying that there's a delay, and I know that in the discovery it says that there is a delay, a slight delay on the camera as far as the motion is concerned. Okay, sorry. I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy. Okay, so let me just read this real quick. It says Watts said at approximately 05:27 hours, he backed his work truck into the driveway to load up tools, which he estimated took 10 minutes, and shortly thereafter drove off to a work site near Hudson. Neighbor Nathaniel home video surveillance shows Nicole's vehicle leaving at 1:48 a.m. At 5:27 a.m., Watts' truck is observed backed into the driveway and leaving a short time later. The surveillance videos is only motion activated clips, which appeared to have a delayed recording response. Using his Xfinity login and password, I was able to observe Watts' work truck parked in his driveway for about 37 minutes and leaving at approximately 5:05:45 hours. A legal request to Xfinity for the full-length video is pending. Okay, so after reading this, from what I see is if it's only motion-activated clips, and this agent used Nate's Xfinity login and password and watched the video footage for 37 minutes, that means it's not just only motion activated. If he's able to go onto Nate's Xfinity login and password account and watch the video footage for 37 minutes straight, it doesn't say that he watched 37 minutes worth of clips. It's 37 minutes of video footage. And then he says it's a legal request to have the Xfinity for the full-length videos pending. How much longer is the video? Longer than 37 minutes? Is that what he's saying? So I just wanted to read that part of what the agent said as far as reviewing and going on Nate's Xfinity account. So that being said, if you go to the Xfinity website, and I don't know if you have all seen my last video that I made about Nate's camera, but on the documentary Who Killed Shanann Watts, Assistant DA Wren states that Nate came over and notified him that he has a security camera on his house, and that it records 24/7. So when somebody says 24/7, to me that means 24/7, regardless if there's motion clips or not. I mean 24/7 video recording, it says right here. So straight from the Xfinity website or Comcast, because they merged, I guess. 24/7 video recording for Xfinity system requirements and setup overview. If you want to add 24/7 video recording service, visit Xfinity Home. Okay, and now if you look on Nate's TV, it shows up in the top left-hand corner of the screen. It says Xfinity Home. So we know that Nate's service or package or whatever he has is the Xfinity Home. But you can also record and view the video footage or whatever. If you want to turn the lights on and off, or if you want to arm the security system, you can do it from your remote control. And we know that Nate's security system does this because we see him in Kunrad's video say start camera. He puts his mouth up to his remote control. So we know he has Xfinity Home. As far as Xfinity Internet goes, I don't know, but I know that I think you have to have Xfinity Home, Internet to have the recording, but it says one or the other here. Okay, so we know he has the compatible camera on the outside of his house. So it says, what is 24/7 video recording? 24/7 video recording is an exciting service that automatically records video and sound from compatible cameras connected to your Xfinity Internet or Xfinity Home system. With 24/7 video recording, you can go beyond live video. Keep an eye on your home from anywhere using your smartphone or other device. Easily review all of your video from the past several days or use motion and time stamps to go straight to the action. Plus, download and share memorable events. Okay, so we know his Xfinity camera is compatible. Okay, so how much does 24/7 video recording cost? Is it compatible? How many cameras can I have running? You can have 4. Now, in the documentary that I just mentioned, Steve Wren also says, I believe he says that Nate has cameras on his house. Although I don't know if that's accurate or not, because I haven't heard anything except for the one camera in his driveway. So if he only does have the one camera, then we know that that one records for sure. But you can also have up to 4 cameras recording. And I haven't seen or heard anywhere that Nate has more than one camera. So okay, so go to the next one. Okay, 1 second here. Sorry, I kind of just threw all this together real quick. Okay, so we'll go over the custom video clips here in a minute. Okay, so how long is video saved? Video from your 24/7 video recording camera is continuously recorded to the cloud and is available for viewing and downloading for up to 7 days. The exact length of video history depends on your subscription. Okay, manage 24/7 video recording from your Xfinity home app. So we don't see Nate's what's it called? Oh, the Xfinity home app. We don't see that. We only see him show Coonrod the footage on his television. But from what I'm getting from this is he probably has the app as well. And since he can go onto his account, his Xfinity account, he can view all of his camera footage on there as well. Since we know that the agent, I don't know who did it, it might have been Baumhover, but he states that he went on Nate's account and viewed the video footage. So we can assume that he has video footage based on that, on his account, somewhere else besides his television. Choosing which camera runs 24/7 video recording. 24/7 video recording can be enabled on any compatible Xfinity camera. When 24/7 video recording is turned on for a camera, the live video feed from the camera is continuously recording. Like, I can't stress that enough. Continuously recording. When the camera detects motion, an event bookmark is created. When this service is turned off for a camera, no video from that camera is recorded, but you can manually take video clips and pictures from the camera's live video feed. So if his service was turned off for the camera, he wouldn't be able to even make the motion clips. There would be no motion camera on. Okay, so this is how you can go to your Xfinity home app and do all your settings and yada yada there. Okay, it says in the confirmation box, tap OK. Your camera will reboot, which may take up to 3 minutes. After the reboot is done, you'll see the red dot and record in the lower right corner of the screen, confirming that your camera is now continuously recording. Okay, so if we go to this picture, of a screenshot that I used in another previous video. Now this one's in the left-hand corner, but it could have changed since then. And I know it's a little blurry, but if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, it says REC. So this right here indicates that Nate's camera is recording. This is recording live. This is what we see from Coonrod's body cam footage. Okay, so if Nate only had just live video monitoring, it wouldn't say record down here in the bottom left hand corner. So Nina and Vincina, I gave you guys one. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah. So the record icon in the bottom left hand corner proves that Nate's camera records 24/7, just like it says. And remember, this is going to look different than on Nate's TV because this is from the app that you would download on your phone, or that you would use, to log into your Xfinity account on your computer. Okay, so it says you can tap a motion event image to play the clip. Use the video playback controls to pause, play the clip, or to go to a specific point in the clip. Recorded video and motion event clips are saved for several days. And I'm in the process of making a video on this, so that way it's, not all crazy. But I just wanted to, like I said, hop on today real quick and just update you guys on some stuff. Okay, so this is the View Xfinity home camera feeds from your X1 TV box, which Nate has. Because again, you'll see that on his TV screen. It says up in the top left-hand corner, Xfinity home. And we know that he has that, like I said earlier, because we see Nate talking to his remote. So it says, using your X1 voice remote, press the microphone button and say, show me my cameras. And in Coonrod's video, he says, start my camera, something along those lines. And now I do think that Nate only has one camera, because we would have seen, I believe, on the television, we would have seen his different cameras images. So like here it says, you can specify which camera feed you would like to view. For example, speak into your X1 voice remote and say something like, show me front door camera. So yeah, granted, so these thumbnail images look, they don't look exactly the same to Nate's. But again, this could be updated, and it's been 2 years now. So Nate's could have looked different back then before they updated their systems or their cameras. So here again, it says if you have 24/7 video recording enabled for the selected camera, it'll show red dot record on lower left. So here, now this thumbnail image is looks more like Nate's, almost exactly. Except his doesn't say people in vehicles. So at the time, they might not have had the option to the artificial intelligence option to decide whether what picks up or what doesn't. Okay, so here's where it shows you how to navigate through the thumbnails just like Nate did. And I'm not trying to talk to you guys like you guys are slow or something. I'm just trying to make it clear and just easier to understand, I guess. So I don't want you guys to think that like, why is she talking to us like, you know, like we're like a bunch of retards or something. But that's not the case. If you guys can't tell, I'm not a great speaker, so I'm just trying to be, you know, thorough and clear on what I'm trying to say, I guess. Okay, again, so if you have 24/7 video recording, you'll see the record in the lower corner. Okay, select the category to see the related motion events for all cameras. So here's another screenshot or thumbnail similar to Nate's. Okay, now it says cameras with 24/7 video recording record camera feed and create short video clips whenever the cameras detect motion. You can play back motion events on your X1 TV box, which is what we saw on Kunad's body cam footage. Okay, let me find another thing I wanted to show you guys here. So if you go to the Xfinity website, and this is all available. And I know that on the body cam footage, Kunad asked Nate, does this camera or does your camera record? And Nate goes, yeah, all the time. And then he goes, well, it picks up motion. And then Kunad later asked him, he says, well, how long does it typically record for? And Nate says, I believe like 30 minutes or so. I mean, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds or so. But we know that's not the case because we have the video footage of Nicole Atkinson leaving, and they continue to sit there and watch it. And Nate even says that you can tell that it's still recording because you can see the flag, you know, moving in the wind. And then we have the footage of Chris, you know, loading his truck, and each one of those clips on Kunrad's body cam footage we watched, and I counted it and timed it, they're over a minute long. And one of them, I think they're both actually over 2 minutes long. So they obviously record, the motion clips record longer than 30 seconds. And I know people will say, well, they keep recording as long as there's motion still or movement. But I don't believe that's the case because we can see right here it says 24/7 video recording, and I don't know other way to take that other than it records 24/7. Okay. Yeah, and let's see if I go back to, we go back to this statement. It doesn't make sense because it says the surveillance video or videos is only motion activated clips. But we know, like I said, Steve Wren says in the documentary that it's 24/7, and then it says on Xfinity they record 24/7. The motion clips are they're for convenience. They're for convenience. So if someone says, "Hey, we think we saw a suspicious vehicle outside your house around this time," so you can go, but they weren't sure what time. Maybe it was between 2 and 4, so a couple hours. So that person can go back onto their app and they'll see a timeline and it'll have all these little ticks on it. And the ticks are all the motion activated times where it picked up motion. So that person can go back and say, okay, well, my neighbor said that they saw a suspicious vehicle between 2 and 4. So you can go to the timeline and you can click on the motion events that are marked between 2 and 4, and you can click on each one so that you don't have to sit there and you don't have to scroll through the entire thing. So it's a convenience thing. So you can just click on it and then you can save it. So even if the motion activated part, even if it had a delay, which it might, it doesn't matter because the footage records for 24/7. And the motion clips are, like I said, are convenient so that you can go and you can save them conveniently. So you don't have to sit there. You don't have to go through all of your footage. Now, like I have a motion sensor camera, and I brought this up in my other live. I don't pay for the premium anymore. I used to pay for the premium, which gets everything that Nate would have. So right now, since I don't have the premium, it only records just motion, and that's that. That's it. And yeah, sometimes it's not going to pick up everything, and it's not a high-end camera by all means either. But that being said, it's not going to pick up every single motion because it does. Because if it is only motion activated, I don't know if it's for all cameras, but I know some cameras, and as far as mine goes, it does need a period of time that it needs to reset, whether it be 5 seconds or 30 seconds. So a lot of the times, someone will come, they'll arrive here, and they'll pull in the driveway, and my camera will catch them pulling in the driveway, but after they drop somebody off, it won't catch them pulling out of the driveway. That's because it was, so quick from pulling in and pulling out that the camera didn't have time to reset. Now, when I had the premium package, this came with the cloud and it recorded 24/7 with the motion clips. And I could go back, and the same thing that says on the Xfinity website, I could go into my app and then I'd see a timeline, and there's a bar, and you could just scroll, across the whole thing, and you'll see the little tick marks of the motion where it picked up motion. Now, there were times where, from what I remember, it still didn't pick up all the motions on the motion tick parts, the markers. But when I scrolled through the timeline, I saw the ones that the motion didn't pick up because it was 24/7 recording. And then also, depending on your premium package, you could either have, the cloud save up to, 7 days worth, or you could go as high as 30 days, I think, maybe even higher than that. But I only had it for, 7 days. So I guess my point is that there's inconsistencies because I mean they're telling us that Nate's camera, Steve Wren's telling us that Nate's camera is 24/7. Xfinity is telling us that Nate's camera is 24/7. But on Coonrod's body cam, Nate's saying that it's only motion activated, and then first he says that it records all the time, then he changes it real quick and says that it's only motion activated, and then when Coonrod asks how long, he says 30 seconds, I believe. So it's either like Nate's not being fully honest or he doesn't know, which I don't know how he wouldn't know, because he seemed pretty confident in everything that his camera picks up, so you would think he would know how long that his motion clips record for. So if it records 24/7, then we have to ask, why would Nate say it's only motion clip, and why would they sometimes say, in the statement that I just read in the discovery, why is it saying that it's only motion activated clips, but then he, right afterwards says that he went onto Nate's Xfinity account and watched up to 37 minutes worth of footage. So the motion activated is not going to keep recording if it shows motion. It keeps recording because it's 24/7 video recording, like it says. So either, we know somebody's not being honest, but I don't understand why they would, like I said, Steve Wren would admit, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but if he says it's recording 24/7, and then we have a statement in the discovery that says, no, it's only motion activated, and then right afterwards admits to viewing the camera footage for up to 27 minutes worth. Well, we know that the motion activated clips are not 27 minutes worth. And I was trying to find another part here, which I'll put in the video when I make it, but there's a part that says when you save your video clips, you can save them for up to 1, 2, or 3 minutes, which coincides with what we watched on Coonrod's body cam footage, because both of those clips that I mentioned earlier of Chris loading the truck and Nicole Atkinson leaving were both over 1 minute long. Between, around 2 minutes long, I think, somewhere around there. So we know from Xfinity that you can record the motion clips, or you can save them from anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. And when Nate goes onto his app and he saves these motion clips, more than likely they're going to sync to his television, to his Xfinity One on his television. So if we know that it records 24/7, then when the agent went on Nate's account, then why are they not mentioning that they saw? If it's recording 24/7, it would have picked up Shanann walking into the house, and it would have picked up Nicole Atkinson pulling into the driveway and pulling out of the driveway. So why are we not seeing this footage? Why? So somebody's lying. So either Nate messed with the footage and deleted Shanann coming home and Nicole Atkinson pulling into the driveway, because you can edit these clips. Or law enforcement's lying to us and they're just not showing us that footage. And they clipped the camera footage from the moment that, or after Nicole Atkinson pulled out of the driveway. Why would they do that? I don't know. Why would they clip out Shanann getting out of Nicole Atkinson's car? I don't know. But what I do know is that it should have picked up everything. So either they edited the clips, or they edited the clips, or something, or the camera footage of Shanann coming home is not from August 13th, which I don't believe it was, because that wasn't released until people were making a big hype about it, saying that, where's the camera footage of Shanann coming home? Where's the Vivid footage? Why don't we see her? They don't release this stuff until we start to make a big fuss about it. Because it should have been that footage, that Vivid footage of Shanann walking up to the door should have been released with the discovery in the first place, and it wasn't. And why wasn't it? There's no reason why they would need to withhold that footage. So, hopefully that all makes sense, because we need to figure out. I guess it doesn't really matter, but all we need to know is that somebody's lying to us. And I can only go. I can't go based off of what Nate says. I can only go based off what the Xfinity website tells me and what I can see with my eyes. Plus, you can't believe anything hardly in the discovery, because we don't know if what's true and what's not. So, like I said, 1 minute they're saying it's only motion activated, and then Steve Wren goes on TV and says that it's 24/7. So, which coincides with the Xfinity website, but it's like, does anybody know what is going on? Because it doesn't seem like anybody, in the case knows what's going on. So, bottom line, who edited it? If they edited the film, or was Shanann coming home even from the 13th? And why, if we know that it was 24/7, why wasn't that footage released to us, and why was it cut out? So that's all I have for you guys today. But if anybody has any questions, I'll look in the chat real quick. And if I'm not explaining it clearly, just let me know, and I'll try to. But you guys are all smart, and again, I know I'm not very good at explaining things, but it sounds great in my head and when I write it down, but when I start to speak, it just comes out a big old mess. Oh, and that being said too, I just thought of when the agent mentions in a statement that he has to get the full footage from Vivint. To me, full footage means full footage. He doesn't say he needs to get the motion activated clips from Vivint. I mean, I'm sorry, not Vivint. Excuse me, Xfinity. So if they can get a warrant for that, which I don't even know why they'd have to get a warrant for that, because it's Nate's camera, and if he's willing to show them, then that's on him. But they're saying that they can go to Xfinity to get the full footage. So why haven't we received the full footage? So the whole delay thing about the delay and how long it takes for him to come out of the garage and for the camera to restart is irrelevant, because it records 24/7, and that's the only way I know how to explain it. I mean, 24/7. Like I said, means 24/7. And I'm not going to go based on what Nate says or what Kunan says or what anybody else says. I'm just going based off what I see. And I'm going to have to believe the Xfinity website over Nate or anybody else. And it's funny how, the only things that Nate doesn't catch. I mean, I don't know how many times he sat there and said, "Oh, I can catch this coming from this far, and I catch this car, and I catch this car, and this car, and I can catch Chris coming out and in all the time." And if Shanann walked up to the house, my camera definitely would have caught it. So if Nate's so sure that his camera would have caught it, then why didn't it catch it? Because he's so quick to say that how great his camera is and it catches everything. But the two things that we need to see that are the most important, his camera conveniently doesn't pick up, right? And repulsive, conclusive. Yeah, the truck doesn't. You would think that if he put, in order to put Shanann in the truck, he would have had to, use a lot of strength to literally. That's if he could get her in. We'll say hypothetically, if he could. Once he put her in the truck, you would have seen some sort of movement in the truck, regardless if the footage wasn't clear or not. And if he did, Chris would have had to gone around to the other side of his truck to pull Shanann through to the other side. I mean, you can't just. This is terrible, but you can't just, shove dead weight into a vehicle like that or into a confined space, because it's not going to work. So he would have had to go onto the other side of the truck and pull her through. And the only time we see him go to that side of the truck, I believe, is when he has the gas can in his hand. Other than that, we don't see him on that side of the truck closest to Nate's for the rest of the time. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but and yeah, and then the whole distraction thing too. I wanted to reclusive, conclusive. Say that 5 times fast. Um, just brought something up about him distracting people. Normally, I would say, yeah, that sounds like, because actually, when I first saw the video footage, I actually did think that. I was like, why does this seem like staged? Why does it seem like that it's like a distraction? Because you can kind of see him look up at the camera for a moment. And so when I initially saw the footage, I thought that it was staged, number one, but number two, that he was trying to distract from something else. But that was at the very beginning. So now, obviously, my thoughts on that have changed. But I know recently that there's been talk that that Chris had help, and they took Shanann and the girls out the back, or somebody out the back, and Chris was distracting them or whoever from them taking them out the back. But the problem that I have with that is people have been saying for we've all been saying for 2 years that it looks as though Chris is it looks like he's dragging Shanann's body. And I say that again, it looks like he is. So that being said, if he was going to distract or use a distraction in the front of the house, why would he pretend to drag bodies or drag a body? Why wouldn't he just grab some random tools and go back and forth a couple times, put his water jug in, put his computer in, put his tools in, in the amount of time that it takes for the people to go out the back? Why wouldn't he just do that instead of pretending to drag or load bodies into his truck and potentially implicate himself. It doesn't make any sense why he would use a distraction to make it look like he's dragging bodies, but he wants to distract from people taking bodies out the back. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope so, because it does in my head. Oh, hi, True Crime, True Seeker. I know that I'm behind on the chat, but I'm just scrolling up to see if there's any questions or comments. Melinda HF, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like my security camera, it doesn't always pick up everything, but when I did have the 24/7 cloud service, premium service, it picked up everything. So when I went back and I went through the timeline and I scrolled, everything was there, and you can lapse it, rewind it, scroll back, scroll forward, do it. And with Xfinity, you only have two options with secure as far as the security camera goes. Like you can add other stuff as far as being able to activate your lights in your house, or activating your thermostat, turning it on and off, or your settings on it. Whatever else, if you have motion sensors on your windows, but the only options that they have as far as outdoor security goes is you can have live video monitoring, which doesn't record. You can only see it and just view it in real time. That's it. So it's not going to record, and it's not going to record the motion clips. You could just view it from your app on your phone or whatever, and check in on your dogs or whatever. Just your neighbor calls you and says, hey, someone's at your house, you can just log onto the app and you can view it, but it doesn't record. And then the other option is the 24/7 video recording. Now, like it says, depending on what package you have, you might be able to only record or keep your recordings for 7 days in the cloud, or you can keep them longer than that, maybe even up to 30 days. But since we got Nate's video footage of that day, on that day, then we know it was still there. And this might explain, because I was always wondering why they didn't go further back on Nate's security camera to see, if Kessinger came in when she said or came to the house the days that she said. But now that after doing this research, that makes sense, because it probably only goes back 30 days or 7 days, depending on what Nate has. So they wouldn't have been able to go back that far. I mean, maybe they could have if they went to Xfinity. Maybe they keep them as far as that goes. I don't know. But that's the reason why I believe they didn't follow up with anything else besides the most recent days leading up to the murders. So my point is that since we know Nate's camera records, the only other option that he can have with Xfinity is the 24/7 video recording. There's no other options. Like you can't have live monitoring and then, just motion clip only, and then you can choose 24/7 recording. It's either live monitoring or 24/7 recording with motion clips. Repulsive, conclusive. Yeah. Great question again. The fact that there's no timestamp on the Vivint recording is even more suspicious, because that would prove at least that it was from the night of the 13th. Now, I don't know if there's an option that in the settings that I don't have Vivint where you can either turn on or off the timestamp. So that could be an explanation for it. But the fact that it doesn't provide a timestamp, it doesn't convince me. I mean, not that they can't just, nowadays with everything, they could probably just, paste the timestamp on there, which also doesn't prove anything, which, what are you going to do? But a timestamp would have been nice, at least. It would have been more believable anyways. And I don't know Nate's relationship with the Watts or how close they were, but from what I got from it is that he was just a neighbor and he didn't really see him that often. He didn't, from the from what we see on the 13th on Kunat's body cam footage, he just seems like a kind of like a nosy neighbor, which is fine, whatever, I mean, but then we have him on all the, like, not all the documentaries, but a few of the documentaries, saying, oh, how much wonderful people they were, and they were always like, just like they were like best friends. So when he was on the documentaries and the Friends Speak Out thing, it was kind of strange to me because I didn't picture them as him being a person that would go on and talk about these deceased people and him being such good friends and knowing them so well. To me, he was just a neighbor. And yeah, you can be close to your neighbors, but not in the way that he acted from the 13th compared to the documentaries, like he had known them his whole life or something. And again, I don't know the relationship, but just something I noticed. And I think other people noticed as well. Oh yeah, I just saw your comment, True Crime True Seeker. Yeah, she says, oh, and I forgot I can post comments up, but I'm always concentrating on one thing. Okay, there. You guys don't have to stare. You can stare at my moon picture now. Okay, so let me just check a few more comments here, and then I'll let you guys go. And so, yeah, the security cameras should have timestamps on them usually. And like I said, it could be a setting that you can turn off or on or off if you choose. But I know on my security camera, it has a timestamp up in the right hand corner that counts down to the seconds too, or up. Kellyanne, yeah, that's a huge. She says she was talking to True Crime True Seeker, but what also gets me is NA didn't know Shanann's age. That's like a huge discrepancy, and you can say, well, Megan, she was probably, you know, just really nervous for her friend, and she was freaking out, and she was just flustered, and she couldn't remember her age. No, this is someone that's supposed to be Shanann's best friend that has the pin code to get into her home, and she can't remember her birthday. And not only can she not remember her birthday, but she can't even remember her age. And not only can she not remember Shanann's age, so on top of those two things, she doesn't even get close to it. She says she's in her late 20s to early 30s. I mean, this is someone that goes on trips with her all the time, watches the girls, again, has their passcode to her home to get in. She's in hundreds of pictures with her, and nervous for your friend or worried or not, you're going to know your best friend's age. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe she's not good with birth dates, or maybe she's not good with dates. So I'll let that part slide. But the fact that she doesn't even know her age is pretty troubling. Because if my best friend didn't know my age, I would be like, are you sure you're my friend? Because you should probably know my age since we're hanging out all the time. Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah, she was friends apparently, allegedly through her mom, but I mean, how long ago was that? And you're going on. I mean, they're in, like I said, hundreds of pictures together, and they call each other best friends. That they're best friends, and I'm sorry, there's no way that anyone can change my mind or have a good enough excuse as to why she didn't even know her friend's age by at least even a couple years. I mean, that was like a 10 age, you know, gap in between there. She said late 20s, early 30s. I mean, come on. Yay, I pinned a comment. So let's get the last comments here and I'll let you guys go because I know that Dr. B is coming on here soon. Not on here, but she's going live. And yeah, next time I do a live, I try not to do too many of these because, like I said, I'm not very good at them. But I'll try and figure out the whole call-in thing, and maybe they'll go a little bit smoother. Because if I can have someone to actually talk to live and not with a delay, I think things might go a little bit more smooth. Because it's kind of strange when you feel like you're talking to yourself the whole time. But I'm getting used to it as time goes on. And Williams, yeah, that's interesting. I don't remember seeing that, but there's a lot of discrepancies. There's a lot of things that people don't remember about these so-called friends that they're go on all these trips with and go to barbecues with. Right, you heard that Vivint records regardless? I'm sure it does. Or I'm sure it could be an option. Again, I don't have Vivint or Ring, so I'm not exactly sure how those work, but I do know that Nate's camera is almost the exact same as my security camera, except I just can't control mine through the TV. I can control it through my phone. And even with Nate's camera, you can view live as well. So he can go onto his app or on his television like we saw and view in live time and say, he sees something going on in a neighbor's house, for example, that's suspicious. He can, you know, actually start recording at that moment and start making his own motion clip if he wanted to. So, for example, if he saw, Chris back into the driveway, he can get on his phone real quick and he could actually start recording his own motion clip if he wanted to. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it's just good to know, I guess. Okay, sorry, my kitty wanted out of the room. Mark Klein, thank you. I appreciate that. And everybody, if I missed any comments that said nice things, thank you to everybody. Appreciate that. So Irene says, NA lied to police about Shan being diabetic, but if she knew she was spotting, why not say she might be bleeding to death? Yeah, I'm not sure. A lot of stuff that Nicole Atkinson and her son say too, they don't add up. And I still think, I know we talked about this before and people mentioned it, but I still think it's strange that she called in the welfare check that soon. Granted, yeah, okay, she had diabetes and lupus, and she was pregnant and she wasn't feeling well, the day before. But I mean, she just dropped her off supposedly at 2 in the morning, 1:48. God forbid the woman's tired. She's pregnant. She's probably tired. I'm sure there were days that she slept in late and wasn't all, perky and all about Thrive, and Thrive, makes me clean the whole house. And I'm not making fun, but I'm just saying that the stuff that Shanann was a saleswoman, so when she gets on camera, she could be completely dead tired. But then once that camera turns on, she's all about Thrive, and she just got done cleaning the entire house, and she feels so much better, and she didn't have to take any of her lupus medication that day or whatever. But once she turns the camera off, who knows what happens? We no one knows. She could probably crash at the minute that camera turns off, and she could be sleeping for 6 hours. Who knows? But you know, if you think about it, we really only see what's on camera. And to me, she was a saleswoman and she was trying to push a product. So of course she's going to say, I'm feeling great today, and I'm not saying that she wasn't, but I'm just pointing something out that what you see and what she says all the time, or anybody says on camera, we don't know what happens when they shut the camera off. But I don't know where I lost what I was saying before that. But okay, Nicole Atkinson called for the welfare check that soon. Like, God forbid she's just, like I said, a tired pregnant woman, and she just got off a plane and she was gone all weekend, and she might have just been tired. I'm sure there's days where, yeah, it's probably not a good thing that you didn't get up and take your kids to school on the first day of school, but I mean, stuff happens. So the fact that she called that soon is kind of crazy, and that they showed up that soon. It seems a little over the top, but again, I have my theories on that, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But at that being said, I will let everybody go, and I appreciate you guys showing up at such short notice. And I'll try and do these lives earlier if I do anymore. But it's when I find time, and normally that's here around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. But I did have some time today, so I wanted to jump on and just kind of share those updates, with what was going on and what just happened with the phone calls, and what else I found more about Nate's video camera, and kind of clarify that a little bit more. So yeah, so that being said, thank you guys, and I appreciate your support, and I will see you guys next time.